Ocean Drive is like the signature street of Miami Beach, kind of like how you think Bourbon Street to New Orleans, Times Square, and Broadway to New York. Well, right now, Ocean Drive consists mainly of restaurants and bars and lounges inside these Art Deco hotels, but it's become kind of like a powder keg for the city. It's kind of become a free for all where people just come and they buy overpriced large drinks or they get booze at a liquor store and they just hang out and congregate on the streets as well as the restaurants and the bars and the nightclubs. You know, a lot of people smoke marijuana openly and freely. You know, when spring break comes to town, it's like ground zero for spring breakers. You know, it's basically now blowing up where we're seeing the mayor for the second time in, I think, 3 years, push a referendum that would roll back last call from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. And the bars and lounges and nightclubs on Ocean Drive would have to close a lot earlier. And they believe that that's basically going to kill, you know, the goose that laid the golden egg. Well, a majority of the major real estate developers in Miami Beach are on the mayor's side and believe that Ocean Drive needs to be cleaned up. And there's a lot of developers that are investing in Miami Beach in the surrounding areas. For example, there's the Raleigh Hotel. Michael Schvo bought that recently, and he's not only redeveloping and revamping that historic property, he's also building a luxury tower at that site. You have developers like that the city is trying to court into, like, well, you know, let's go to Ocean Drive now and let's remake Ocean Drive again. In the midst of all this, the mayor took part in a secret Zoom call. We call it a secret Zoom call because it wasn't advertised by the city. It wasn't held at City Hall. It wasn't publicly noticed. It was just a Zoom call with the mayor, his predecessor, former mayor Philip Levine, the city manager Alina Hudak, and about 30 business people and developers. You know, some of the names of developers have already come out. Michael Schmo was one of them. Another prominent developer that was supposedly on this call is also Russell Galbit, who's a big-time Miami Beach real estate developer. What makes this interesting is that we really got to hear the mayor be candid. He was just blunt and, you know, straightforward about what he wants and how developers can help him get there. That's kind of like how Miami politics and Miami Beach politics works. It's kind of like all this behind-the-scenes stuff, like movies in Casablanca and Chinatown, where, like, you know, there's people behind the curtain, making deals and stuff like that. So that's what we got to hear on this audio recording. We got to hear the mayor actually tell developers, look, you know, if you guys got, you know, ideas for Ocean Drive, let me know and I'll throw my staff at you. You know, you can have, you know, full access to my staff and you guys can see what we can do. If you want to, like, build 25 to 50 feet higher on Collins Avenue, you know, maybe we can make that happen. And then the mayor also said, like, you know, if we need to get it on the ballot, you know, I'll get it on the ballot. He said, even if it's not particularly popular, I would support a referendum. He also recommended that if they were going to pursue referendums that would change height and density increases, they could push for referendums and they could get the measures on the ballot without city commission approval, which is kind of like, whoa, you know, like, he's willing to go against the entire city commission to push through his agenda for Ocean Drive. It is kind of inevitable that these developers are going to come into Ocean Drive and, you know, and basically redo it in a way changes what it is today. It's inevitable because they have the muscle and they have the political influence to do so. From a larger perspective, I think what this recording does is just kind of does show the symbiotic relationship between politics and real estate. It pretty much, like, you know, they drive each other, like, you know, like real estate drives the politics and politics drives the real estate. It's kind of like they mesh together and they're so intertwined that you really can't, you know, do one without the other.